Contracts the Browns must consider cutting in the 2023 offseason. This is from the Bleacher Report. Number 1, Anthony Schwartz, slated to make $1.1 million in 2023, $1.3 million in 2024. I get it. He's got to produce. He has been a disappointment as a third-round pick. Number 2, Jacob Phillips will make $1.1 million this season. Final year, he's under contract. Flash potential to be a decent contributor. He's been injured pretty much for his entire time here. There's been some major injury he's been dealing with. Number 3, Jordan Elliott. Elliott scheduled to make $2.7 million in the final year of his rookie contract. Salary does not match overall production from the defensive lineman. 7 quarterback hits, 2.5 sacks in 3 seasons. None of these contracts really move the needle as far as the dollar figure. But the point is, young guys got to produce. These are draft picks. They've gotten every chance. I would imagine there's going to be a sense of urgency to win with the front office and the coaching staff because they're going to have to – they got to get to the playoffs next year.
Oh, 100% they have to get to the playoffs next year. But what you're talking about here, but if you add those 3 contracts together, you're talking about $5 million. I mean, and with the salary cap where it is now, I mean, if that's the biggest thing you need to move on from, I don't know what to say. I mean, and even still, you're going to keep Anthony Schwartz around because you want him to have a full year of OTAs, a full summer with Deshaun Watson. Jacob Phillips, there were, times as a rookie, played well, missed a lot of time. A lot of people thought he was going to be a solid contributor in year 2. Ended up tearing his bicep early in joint practice with the New York Giants. Wasn't back till late in the season when basically the season was over at that point anyway. Jordan Elliott at $2.7 million. Look, you draft Jordan Elliott. You drafted him right around pick 100. Now that he's going to be in the last year of his 4-year deal at $2.7 million, that's not a terrible number to pay for somebody to be a reserve defensive tackle. I think the problem is people don't like Jordan Elliott at $2.7 million because he's a starting tackle. And look, I'll be honest, Jordan Elliott as a starting defensive tackle has been pretty underwhelming to this point. There's no way around it. All truth and honesty. But all of these guys are going to be around. The question is, do they survive the summer? Do they get moved? Look, somebody will still gamble on an Anthony Schwartz who runs a 4.29. Jacob Phillips, linebackers, linebackers go down like running backs go down. There's always going to be room for running linebackers in the NFL. Look at Reggie Ragland, who sat on the Vegas practice squad for as long as he did, and all of a sudden Browns needed a linebacker, brought him in late in the year, and was still able to produce. I understand some issues with these guys and maybe some disappointment with these players overall. But these players are not making a ton of money. The Browns will be able, and even still, even if you did get rid of all 3 of these contracts, $5 million isn't getting you much on the open market. It's not even going to get you a Paris Campbell, most likely.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of what I was getting. It doesn't move the needle, so you err on the side of it being with you a year longer than getting rid of them a year too soon. Jeff Lloyd.
Well, that being said, also, if they call, they're not going to hang up the phone if somebody calls asking about these guys, but they're in a similar position they were last year with Dearness and Kareem. Sure, give me a call. And guess what? For 7 months, nobody called.